The engine is starting up. 3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us?
Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is Rift Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Sensitive/offensive content disclaimer. Please note that this podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
In a world so cold with shadows creeping, got a heart on fire, but sometimes sleeping through the midnight hours when hope feels tight. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. Rise up from the ashes, we will never fall. When you feel lost, I can hear your call. With every heartbeat, we can win this fight. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. Clouds may tremble, skies may weep in tears. Through the stormy weather, I'll calm your fears. Hold on to my voice, it will lead you right. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. Rise up from the ashes, we will never fall. When you feel lost, I can hear your call. With every heartbeat, we can win this fight. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. Rise up from the ashes, we will never fall. When you feel lost, I can hear your call. With every heartbeat, we can win this fight. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. Stars may tremble, skies may weep in tears. Through the stormy weather, I'll calm your fears. Hold on to my voice, it will lead you right. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. Rise up from the ashes, we will never fall. When you feel lost, I can hear your call. With every heartbeat, we can win this fight. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light. Rise up from the ashes, we will never fall. When you feel lost, I can hear your call. With every heartbeat, we can win this fight. I'll be your beacon, guiding to the light.
Oh my goodness, guys. Are you as excited as I am today? I'm telling you, welcome to Beacon in the Dark. I'm your host, Susan, the crazy lady who's got to be really serious today. And welcome everybody. And how you doing? Hello, Z Sun. Some of the channels, I guess, the comments aren't coming through as of yet, but don't worry, I'll fix it during the show. Hey, Michelle, what's up? How you doing, girl? So yeah, the song is an AI song, is what it was built. So tonight's show, Beacon in the Dark, we have an awesome guest coming on. And I'm pretty excited about this. And as always, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to follow all the Rift Nation Network channels. We are also on Spotify. So this will be something that's uploaded to Spotify, and I will be sharing out to other audio platforms as well. But everybody knows I was revamping this show, so I went on a hunt. So we have a fantastic woman coming on who shared her journey of what she went through. And I'm not going to tell you much until I pull her on. But I am going to tell you that she is an author. She literally poured her heart out in this book. And you guys know I'm an empath. I could feel it on the pages, okay? I could feel this book. And I love that when I read a book and you can actually feel the emotions behind what's being done. To me, that's amazing. So we have Dana K, author of 5 a.m. Silence After Goodbye. Welcome, Dana. How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm really honored to be your guest today. Thank you.
I'm very excited. I am. I'm very excited. So, Beacon in the Dark is normally just me helping others. And when I was looking for guests and you mentioned your book, and literally, I got to tell you honestly, and I just said it and I'll say it before, but it's true. I mean, I was having like tears and inspiration and everything as I was reading your book. And
Thank you.
it's written in like a poetic but story format, and she is going to take you on a fantastic journey. And not everybody will be able to have that ability to um or hasn't been through what you have been through.
Yeah. Thank you so
Others
much.
have been through similar, but not. Show them a copy of your book. I don't have a copy. I read the e-copy. So that's what you want to look for. It's on Amazon, and I am going to share the link for you in a bit. But you got to read this book, guys. You really got to read this book. So I did. I took some notes. And some of this topic there, people, some of the topics, some of the notes I took, you needed to know that the disclaimer on the first step, hey, Heidi, my lady, what's up? So remember the disclaimer on this, okay? Some of the subject matter that we will be talking about will be a little rough. And if I do get too deep, because I have a tendency to do that, I can't help it, she will let me know. So, and let's see. Z-Sun says, welcome. And Dana says, Heidi says, hello, beautiful soul, Susan and Dana. Much love from Boulder, Colorado. So just wanted to let you know. But this book was a healing process for you, correct?
It's true.
From what I read, her brother, and again, I will let you talk about him, Arman, this book was a labor of love to him. Now, could you talk maybe a little bit about your relationship with him as a child? It'll help sell a little bit of the boundaries of that.
Sure. Thank you so much. I will also maybe show like the picture I used for him in the book.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so people can
So
see.
for those that hold that up for a minute, for those of you in here that are in here, you read pictures. Here's a nice picture for you to read. He's got a beautiful soul.
Yes, he is. Yeah. So I actually I want to just mention a couple of words about my book. So whatever you see on the cover, it's actually a picture taken by my brother Arman. This is the picture.
Wow.
Caspian Sea. I know you couldn't see the back of the picture. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Ebook. But this is one photograph that my brother took at the Caspian Sea because he loved Caspian Sea. It was his haven place, his place for just finding his peace and comfort. So I used it. It was just perfect for this book. And my book is called 5 a.m. The Sounds After Goodbye, because we have 12 hours difference. I am originally from Kazakhstan, and my brother used to live in Kazakhstan, but he used to travel a lot around the
Right.
world, and he worked in oil and gas field, traveling to Russia and other countries. He's been to America as well. And just my brother was only 34 years old when he unfortunately took his life, and he did struggle with depression, and he was able only to open up to me because we had a very special bond with him. He was just than a sibling to me. Actually, he was more like my firstborn son. That
Yes.
my grieving was very heavy. My feeling guilty was very heavy for me, and there was quite a big journey for me to heal. I'm not saying I'm completely healed. Probably will never be, but
Exactly. I
I've
believe
learned
that.
I've learned to smile again. I've learned to love life again. Today, 5 years later, yeah. So yeah, we had a very special bond, and I do talk about it in my book, where I explain tell our story and explain how the bond was actually building and growing, and how we and at the end of his life, I guess he was able to open up only to me that he was going through depression and he could not handle it anymore. But in our country, and I guess, and I believe in many countries still in the world, it's such a huge stigma to talk about depression, to admit that you have depression, especially
In
for
some
men.
in some cultures, I do believe that. I
Mhm.
do believe in some cultures, it's like, "Oh my god, what's wrong? No, don't say
Yeah,
that." I
yeah,
do believe that.
yeah. Because he would open up to me and he would say, like, when I would suggest him, like, can you please go see a counselor or go to see a doctor or
Right,
something, he would say to me that no, he cannot because of his job. He would lose job, or he would lose his friendships, his friends, and all these things. Like he was really, yeah, it was heavy for him, hard for him to admit and to accept it and to actually work on it more. I guess, yeah.
when I was reading the book, and again, like I said, I'm an empath, but I don't know whether or not it's true, but it felt like it's and again, you guys have to get this book to understand what I'm talking about, because these aren't words written, these are like insights. You've got to get this book. It was like a part of him was not living the life he really wanted. That's what it felt like.
That's true. Hmm. That's true. Yeah. So I'm now working on my next book, which is going to be more in depth, given our story, because it's going to tell more like deeply about the dysfunctional family we grew up in, which honestly was even to me when I went to counseling therapy after passing my brother. My brother took his life in August 2019, and it was huge trauma and tragedy for me because for a year prior that I tried to help him, like by sending him to doctors, finding him the right people, and all of this. But family was in denial, and or just not accepting it, and they would push him to like you have to just. He was to the point that he was already in clinical depression where he cannot
Right.
work, he cannot get up from the bed. But
Yep.
my parents, even like people you would think who should love you, and that's how I felt. I thought we have normal family. It's everybody's like that. We all have our issues, but we still love each other. That's what I was believing. But when I went to therapy, actually, my therapist actually pointed out, saying that it sounds like you grew up. I mean, your parents, especially your mother, has a very severe NPD, which is like narcissistic personality disorder, and I had no idea what it is. So it was to me huge revelation. Like I had to learn about it, read a little bit about it, study about it, and then I still just it was crushing my soul so much that this tragedy is already crushed me so much.
Right.
And here I am, not grieving only my brother, but also grieving my family, realizing that how destructive, how bad it was like for both of us. Like I was also at that point when I wanted to take my life. I was 22 for the first time when I did, and also um, during other times as well. Plus, after when I was grieving, and I read a book from a therapist she gave me about. It's called The Wilderness of Grieving the Suicide after
Yep.
suicide loss.
Yep.
And the doctor, the psychologist who wrote the book, he explains how the survivors of suicide, not only those who tried to take their lives, but also survivors, those who were left behind after somebody you love or took their life, you are the risk of taking your life. So it's very, very important topic, I believe, to talk about even today. Like it's a huge stigma and it's hard for me to share this story, but I am here sharing. These poems that I wrote were the way of my healing. It was my way to heal. It was a huge part of my healing. I'm not saying the only way, but because I had to look to be creative and look at different ways how to heal me, like energy healing, like I don't know, just even having some, yeah, just different outlets, right? Trying to find all the answers to my questions.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
will not, I know
very
I know my
difficult.
Christian friends will not agree with this, but I had to do what I needed to do. I had to go and find somebody to do like angelic reading cards for me or something because I was looking for answers. And
Exactly.
towards the first year of anniversary since his passing, I realized I wanted to get everything out of my chest, I guess, from my heart to just
Right.
pour that emotions and to those heaviest emotions that I had, like guilt, for example, right?
Yep.
Or unforgiveness or not accepting. I came to realization that I needed to look in the monster's eyes. I needed to face them and verbalize it. So that's how I'm gonna heal. And that's what I did. So I wrote those poems about guilt, about unforgiveness, about
Right.
like stages of grief, about not accepting what happened. So that's what was my way of healing. So your question was about like how come he was living not his life. That is what sorry, my story is too long, but that's what I'm
No, honey, please. That's what this
thinking.
show's about.
Yeah.
This show is about you sharing a brief history of the story for people to understand because
Mhm.
this show is about helping other
Yeah.
people. Your
Yeah.
survival story and
Mhm.
what you and your brother have both been through will help many.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's why
Many.
I'm here. Actually, these poems are very, very personal. It was my way of healing, my personal. So when some of his friends, and I would post, of course, some on my social media because that was another way of healing, right? It's like an outlet. It's like portal. Like it's like me almost speaking to my brother. That's how I felt when I was sending my messages online or to his friends. And then some of his friends reached out saying. I actually mention one of his friends' name at the end of the book when I say thank you, because he's like, "Why don't you publish your poems? You have such nice and deep poems." And I was at that time I was thinking like, who wants to hear? Who will understand? It's very personal. It's very like culturally even different, right? Like you probably sense that a little
It's
bit.
the emotions behind the words and the story of your sorrow all the way up to your triumph. That's what catches people.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it
But
is.
then I found the poetry, yeah, it brought me to healing, right? So to
Yes.
a way of like they say like there are 5 to 6 stages of grieving, right? Which comes in waves and comes in
Yes.
different order. But when I was reading one person's story when he lost his son, and then he explains how at the end you feel almost like you find a meaning to what happened, and that's I believe it's a huge growth, like
Right.
in inner growth, like that you come to that point that when you're realizing, you know what, this is happened to me, and this is a story of my yeah this my love, first of all my love for my brother, my healing, and my journey of like rising, like you want to mention in your song or some
Right.
introduction, rising from ashes again, and
Yep.
being a model example to my children and to other people, maybe helping someone who cannot, can find, who finds it hard to verbalize the strongest emotions that's kind of eating them up from inside.
Now,
So
in this book, You got to know this, guys. In this book, she actually managed to find some writing from her brother. They were very close, by the way. And it so fits in and explains so much. That's amazing.
Yeah,
It was like a part of him knew what the outcome was going to be already. It's just the only
yeah,
way I can think of it. It was
yeah.
so intense.
Yeah, Susan, thank you so much. Yeah, it's very deep. Sorry, my thoughts are all over scattered. So thank you
That's
so much for
okay.
bringing that those points because yes, you're right. So first of all, it was heavy for me to even share like some of his messages. Of course, I did not include all of it. You
Right.
saw probably, yeah, when I say like when I talk about the way of goodbye. So I did give some screenshots to his like even text to
Oh,
me, right?
yeah. I remember seeing some of those.
And translations, right?
Yeah.
So I do explain a little bit of the journey of what happened, which is like heavy. Like of course I could not like it's very like I included only what I felt comfortable with, but look how
Right.
loving he was. He would send me all these emojis of his love to me, right, and stuff. So, but also as you said, as you mentioned, I did include also my brother's own writing, and that's what you say, like when you said he's living not his own life. So
Yes.
this is one of his poems I included, for example, and there is songs as well. If you there's also QR codes to his songs. So if you scan those QR codes, then you will hear his voice. Because I
Oh,
found,
that's right. The barcodes,
yeah,
guys.
the QR codes, yeah, to his
Yes.
song. So I did include that because this is his song written by him, and you will see, sorry, and you will see that it will say by who, so it's by my brother.
Yep.
And at the end, I include. So this is translated into English because he sings in Russian. And then at the end, I included the QR code to his songs that you can hear his voice, his beautiful voice, and how he sings. So, what is it like? He really wanted to become a musician. He loved rap music. He was a big fan of Tupac and all other rappers, which at the time I didn't understand. Like, it wasn't my style of music I
Right.
liked at the time. And I couldn't support him much, but I'm like, okay, it's his hobby, he likes it. So he was really like thriving and being passionate about the music. At that time, he lived with me, so he felt free. He was really like Hawkinson, just blew. He was in his bloom and of his young age of just after high school, being a university student, right? And then he recorded a few songs with his friends, like professionally. So good thing I found them. I found only three. I know he had more songs. I did find some like working videos, but for some reason because I was moving to Canada and I was
Right.
deleting some files, I think I accidentally deleted something, so I don't have the sound. But in those little videos, like you'll see like a couple little short footages of him when he's like singing in front of the camera or something or a mirror. Like it's just, but unfortunately, this was didn't have voice because I just lost the sound. I mean the audio,
Right.
the files. But so yes, he was very creative. He was very musical, and he
Artistic.
wanted,
Very artistic.
yeah, yeah, he was very artistic. But mother wanted him to become oil and gas engineer,
Yeah.
and he wanted to be computer science. He wanted to be a musician, and I told him, please, you live your life, switch to computer science. It's good profession too. No, mother wants me. So you know what? How the influence, how the manipulations are, how the that we grew up in a culture and in a family of a lot of guilt and a lot of guilt tripping, a lot of
Yes. Yes.
blame shifting, and all of that. That's why I'm just like so heartbroken because that's who he wanted to become. But then he became oil and gas engineer, and of course he didn't have time anymore to
Right.
his passion, to his hobby, to what he really loved to do. And of course he felt burnt out. And now I'm realizing his energy for life just got burnt out.
Right.
And that's same with me. Like I wanted to become a journalist. I wanted to become a writer when I was in high school, but
And
my
you
mother, but my it's now only so for so many years, my I guess my dream come true, but in a such sad way though. Yeah, you would think,
but a
because
part of him will always be alive because of that
yes,
book.
that's true. Through this music, his song,
Yes.
through
That
his
book, the
voice in
music,
this book, his
everything.
yeah, yeah. And but unfortunately, I became an accountant, which is like nothing to do with writing, right? So, and then that's my story too, like where I just stopped writing altogether after high school, and only after towards his first year anniversary.
Right.
That's when I wrote my first poem again. Yeah.
Now, in certain cultures, and
Mhm.
and that's what it is. It really depends on the culture. Like in my family, it doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a girl. You kind of just go back and forth. But in some cultures, he's like the male, the first male in the family. So because of that, he was expected to do the way he was supposed to do it. It was like
Yes,
he wasn't allowed to live his dream. That's
that's
the
true.
easiest way to put it. And that's a hard place for anybody to be. Like you
Mhm.
were not allowed to live your dream because
Mhm.
of the culture that you grew up in.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
it's like, but now you get to live your dream. And by sharing his stuff in the book, he's kind of living his now too.
Yes, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is true because that's very, yeah. I always say like it's very sad to admit that, like because of his passing, that's what's happening to us. Because honestly, it was shocking to me even to at one point when I was sitting and just self-reflecting just to what happened after his passing, like maybe 3 months or 2 months later.
Right.
And I'm like, it's just to me, like it was surreal, like it's like a dream. I please wake me up. Please
Yep.
wake me up. I'm just dreaming, right? And then I'm realizing at one point I just felt like I just woke up. I just felt like the veils came off of my eyes, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
And suddenly I just had to ask those questions to myself. Uh, like I don't want to be an accountant. I don't want to be doing like living my life like that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, like I don't want to be staying in an unhealthy relationship anymore. So I actually also left my marriage. So it's just almost after almost 20 years of being married.
But
You know what I mean? Like so many
yeah,
things just
you
happened to
did
me
what
because
you needed to do for you.
yeah,
Okay, not important. You did what you needed to do for you, but see, that was his gift to you.
yes.
I mean, he did have some other gifts because I was reading a couple other really good things, but I mean, I understand for you, like the poetry was very healing. But the guilt, that's the hardest part for people to get over because even though and again, for example, when I had a passing in my family, I had what we call over here is the woulda coulda shouldas. i
Hmm.
i, I wish I would have done that, I could have done that, I should have done that. And that's like part of the guilt feeling. What was your method in the writing? What other methods did you use to help you deal with that aspect of it?
Yeah, the guilt actually was the most heaviest, and
Yep.
I cannot tell that I'm completely over it.
Yep.
Like I'm sure, I mean, I'm sure people understand. How I don't know, yeah, because it's very heavy when you are that in that place, you know. So I say that guilt almost killed me. That was actually the huge um, how can I say heavy load for me that I could
Yes.
not bear. I just could not bear. I even was blaming myself for moving to Canada, being so far away from him,
Yep.
for leaving him behind. Although I did in one of my poems you probably read, I say like yes, you're right. My writing is more like storytelling. It's not the traditional way of poetry. It's more
But I
like
like
me.
it.
Yeah, it's like more like storytelling, telling my story, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. I just had to accept that too because that's apparently the way I do it. So there's they say like, there's your voice, so that's I guess that's my voice.
Exactly.
So when I say like please live your life, please stay a little bit away from the family and build your life, go get married, go do, because that's all was his dreams, to get married, to have children, to
Right.
travel the world, to work his dream work and all these things, and do his hobbies. But family was so consuming as being the only male in the family. Yes,
Yeah. That's
expectations are huge. Like I had a lot of expectations as being an oldest daughter. You
yep.
know, I was expected to provide, to
Yep.
give all myself and everything
Yep.
else.
I'm right there
Yes,
with you, being the
yes,
oldest girl.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Even me moving to Canada was like me being selfish, you know, suddenly
Yes.
because I couldn't. So all these things, and then him being as a young, he wasn't allowed. Yeah, he was expected. Like he was.
Exactly.
See what happens? Like it does not. It's not just expect. It's actually gets programmed over the
Yes.
years. When the child is growing, since they were born, like there's programming, there's instilling all this expectations that then this person feels tangled. You know what I mean? Like he felt very tangled that he could not get out of that. That's why I mentioned even in some of my places in poetry that we are like in like an invisible slavery.
Yes.
We are so tangled in those webs that we cannot find a way out.
Yeah.
And because of what happened to him, it made me wake up, and I suddenly felt like, yeah, now I had to learn to love myself, to accept me the way that know that I'm enough just by being present in this world and for who I am, right? And then from this, of course, from that, you know how to properly put your boundaries and all these things. But he was expected to live not his life, but to like that's how even I was like too, like expect like they would tell me like I owe them, like I owe them my
Right.
life, I owe them for what how I
It's
was
like the
bred
both
up.
of you were expected to live the life that they wanted, not the life that you wanted.
Mhm. And then it explains also when you know a little bit about NPD disorder that the children are treated as an extension of the other person, not like separate person, right?
Right.
And then they have it like because some people will not understand this. I hear lots of different things from people, and they would say, "Oh, he's grown up, like he knows what decisions to make." No, when you have this invisible slavery, I don't know even how to explain any other ways. Otherwise, so you have no idea. Um, you've been harmful. It's been harmful to you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So the way that I look at the relationship as I was reading the book, and I don't want to give too much away because you guys really got to buy this. I would definitely get a copy for you guys. Definitely get a copy for your thing. But the way that I was looking at it, he was like, and I think you mentioned it as well in your book. Not only was it your brother, but you had that mother son bond as well. So it's like you lost double at that time. But from where you were and where and how you got there, that's difficult in itself. So it was like you were dealing with double duty.
True. Yeah.
That's hard.
That's hard. Yeah, I actually had to grow up very quickly. As soon as my siblings started like were born,
Yep.
I became that mother. Like I wasn't anymore child. Like I didn't have time
Exactly.
to build friendships or play around. Like I was
Yep.
responsible to take care of my siblings, although I was little myself as well. And uh, and then I was expected that he would live with me, that I would pay for his education, which I did. Like just all of those
Right.
expectations, like heavy load, right? And I'm like, I have two daughters myself. I cannot imagine them parenting each other or taking care of each other as a parent, because that's a
Your
huge.
daughters must be very proud of you and how far you've come.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
That's
they
what I
are.
can see. I mean, where you have come from, it's like living your life and going through the healing. And I can't wait for the next book. And it's just the whole thing is, guys, you got to buy this book. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, you guys know me, okay? I'm an empath. I pick up on stuff, but this book literally had everything in it. You can feel it on the words. Even if you're not an empath, you're going to feel it. You really are. And it's the way it was written, it was the way that it was put together. You were true and honest as everything that you went through. And it was just, I'm sorry, it's amazing, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it
thank you so
really
much.
was a
Yeah,
good
thank you.
read.
Yeah. And the thing is, like at the end of the book, like I do share one story that's written for him, which is like the parable about hedgehog that
Yes.
he wrote. But the thing is, like it's so philosophical and deep. It's
Yes.
about existential crisis that he was going through. He was
Yes.
questioning his life through the parable, talking about some hedgehog that
Right.
he actually associated himself with. And I explain why. I give little short stories about why
Right.
it came like this to be a so hedgehog for him, and then at the, like that's in that story also. I before I had the story, I just do give a little bit explanation that it will be heavy to understand, but that is about his existential crisis that he was going through. His question, like what my life is about, how do I
Exactly.
live this life, kind of thing. So it's very heavy. So I had to include that because it was something he mailed me a long time ago. And then I do mention about science. Like I know my Christian friends will not agree about that, but I find science and learning about how to communicate with our past, with our
Yep.
loved ones who passed away,
Yep.
it's such a comfort, like it's
It is.
such a hope, such peace that my love never ends. Our love never ends. It just continues, and we just learned to live with love that we have for these people, for our loved ones, and just when I mentioned about being creative, like I did read a couple of books by Laura Lynn Jackson. It's called The Light Between Us and the Signs.
Yep.
I really recommend to everybody, and I do mention about it in my book as well, and
Right.
how I tested how some of her methods by asking for a sign of a blue hedgehog, and they
Right.
start showing up that day. And I did post some pictures of that as well in my
Yep.
book.
I remember that. I looked at
Yeah,
those. Those
yeah,
are cute.
yeah. And
Those
then
are
also,
really cute.
yeah, thank you. And then yeah, and then sometimes like some letters that showed up, you probably saw that letter that showed up from nowhere, like so many years later. Like this is about hedgehogs. I just to explain
Yep.
that too. So and also I mentioned about my healing because along with processing my grieving after losing my brother to suicide, I also had to go through a lot of healing from in my inner traumas, like inner
Yes.
child healing,
Yes.
my
Childhood traumas. Yes.
yeah, childhood traumas, and I'm still in the middle of that. And so if any of those can also be helpful to people, I'll be so thrilled if the universe can use it in some ways, I guess.
I truly believe, and I always have, and a lot of people on this podcast do as well, is we believe in death and rebirth, and we believe that. And I truly believe, I'm a holistic counselor. I believe that we we have challenges we face. We don't make mistakes. We face challenges.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah,
when a child learns to walk, they constantly fall. That's not a mistake.
yeah,
That's a challenge. They face it. So what you did was you took this tremendous challenge, shared it, and now can help so many people in the process through your words, through sharing this story, and you're keeping his dream alive at the same time. So it's like you accomplished so much just in this one book.
yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. That's very kind of you to say those things. It's exactly. I'm not probably very clear and explain everything, but I appreciate what you say. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Thank
I
you
I
so much.
find it amazing. And I know there was an incident, a couple of them, I'm not sure. Now, the dream. You had a dream. You mentioned something in the book about a dream. And I'm a true believer in this.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, I do believe in all of this. I do talk to spirit. I do readings. I do all that on a different show. So yes, agree, Susan. Growth for many. Yep, Heidi agrees as well. So
Mhm.
Heidi loves that, and Linda Nilsson says that she loves the picture of your brother too, and
Oh,
it
thank
looks very peaceful in that picture. So
you.
I'm just
Mm,
reading the comments off to the side.
yes.
But
Thank you.
I myself have had experiences in this as well. And now you have also had an experience with visits.
Yes.
And
Visits and visions and dreams. Yes. And
yes,
signs. Hmm.
what part of your healing journey was these in? Was it, were you still in grief, or
Yeah, it's actually a very good point. It seems like so many things to mention. I actually am so grateful, like how, like I was taken care of, I guess, by my angels, or just the
yes,
way I was healing, because there's so many parts to it, right? And the one of the first ones was the vision. Yeah, it was end of August. He passed away 4th of August. I
yeah,
went for a funeral. I was away for a week, which I like very in detail tell my story in the 5 a.m. the
right.
poem. It comes in the longest one I wrote. And then 30th of August, I remember I was like, because I was first year, I would say I was 24/7, just huge mess, crying,
Right.
grieving, mourning. Just it was so heavy for me. Um, and then 30th of August, when I woke up, and then I was kind of half asleep, half awake, and I believe I just probably fall asleep again. That's when the vision came, and that's what I mentioned about in my stories. That
Yes.
first I saw a man. Is it okay if I share a little bit about this?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So first, to me, like it was real thing because I was not completely sleeping. It was like early morning, and I know I'm half asleep, half awake, but then I probably fall asleep. So and then I hear noises, and my ex, he used to go to work like early morning, 6 o'clock, and leave the back door open. And I'm thinking somebody got into
Right.
the back door, and I'm thinking there's laptop which I was working on my brother's that video and just going through pictures and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't want that laptop to be taken, And I'm thinking I got to get up and check it. So I come up from my bed, and then I take a peek from the room, and I see a man in white t-shirt sitting and it seemed to me like he was packing something in the boxes. And he looked at me. I didn't recognize the man. And then just seconds after that, my brother just started walking towards me from another
Yep.
side of him, from behind him, I guess. So just started walking very boldly, beautiful outfit, like he was in jeans and that plaid shirt,
Yep.
very clean, very like beautiful smile, slim, just as he is, right? Very happy,
Yeah.
just radiant,
Yeah.
And I'm so surprised, shocked. And then when as soon as he started approaching close to me, a little metal rod just appeared in between us in a little hallway there. And he's just started holding it, and then he leaned over, like smiling to me. He didn't say, but I could see his smile, like
Yeah.
very playful, very boyish, saying, "Don't you see? It's me. I'm here." And then I'm like, "Really? It's you?" And then as soon as I wanted to walk towards him, I woke up. And then I realized it was, and then later I realized the man in the white shirt probably was an angel. That's how I see.
Yes.
And then my brother came, and then I woke up with a smile. I felt so much peace, and it was the beginning
Because
of
he
my
was there. I believe that. I truly
yeah,
believe he
yeah.
was there.
Yeah, so 30th of August, which is like not many, like just only a few weeks after his passing, I am in a deep grieving, right? In a shock, actually, in a shock. And here he shows up, and I believe that was huge affirmation for me that he's doing all right, he's in a good place, he's happy now,
Yes.
and he has no more suffering, no more tears, no more pain, and
Yeah.
he feels
I
loved.
it's a journey. It
Yeah,
really is a
yeah,
journey when you read somebody.
yeah,
Trying to
yeah.
read what's going on over here. Agree, Susan. Growth for many. Let's see. Oh, somebody. Heidi loves Tupac.
Yeah. Now I love him too. I
Yeah,
listen.
I don't know who Tupac is, so
Hmm.
I'm a little old for that. I
Yeah,
can relate to that.
yeah. Thank you.
So it's
Yeah,
so for those that like kind of like for you because of the way you grew up, when you see, just shared the link out again for the
sure.
book. When you see like spirit in something, sometimes you think to yourself, "My God, people are going to think I'm crazy." But when you come to a show like this is totally a spiritual show. True believer in this, all of us are. And
Okay.
honestly, I really believe he was there, and he still does come see you.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
all the
do
time.
see. Yeah, then I saw like several very significant dreams as well. And I
Yep.
tried to capture them, like I tried to take notes, and then also I put them in I believe I put all of them in my poems, but maybe I missed a couple, but I can always put them back sometime. So and then also like signs, as I say, like hedgehogs showing up everywhere or some other things. And there's a song by Coldplay that always comes up, and when even my kids say, "Mom, it's your song," because it's my brother communicating with me. He's telling me he's here, he's present, he loves me, and it comes up like in very random times when, and it kind of makes sense why he starts playing at that moment. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like that's how it's just so it's so healing, it's so like, yeah, so much, it just fills my heart so much with love and just appreciation, and gratitude for him.
I just have to say that, and again, I got to say it again. You really are an amazing individual because you shared something that was very, very difficult to deal with. Not only did you heal yourself, but you're going to be able to heal so many other people because people want to know they're not alone. And
Yes.
you just put everything out there. And I'm telling you guys, Heidi, absolutely a believer. Yep. I'm, you gotta get this. I'm telling you. If you're not an empath, you will be by the time you're done with this. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
an amazing book.
Yes.
Red cardinal birds also. I
Yes.
know that's what her mom is red cardinal birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom's more of a crow girl.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have a whole folder of I call signs in my phone.
Yes,
So I just take pictures like of either can be birds and I know they're significant at that moment,
yes.
or can be some coins. Like I would find some coins with specific dates.
Yep,
And I'm like, it cannot be coincidence. That
yep.
is specifically
They
signed.
are. They're all
Yeah.
signs. I
There
truly
was
believe
one
that.
coin that we found. It was my daughter's birth year, and
Yep.
she had a very special bond with my oldest daughter, because that's how I had special bond with him. He did have with her too, and then it's just so beautiful, And then plus, like other things, like as I said, like songs and music. One day, I remember it's like a couple of years ago or when it was, I was driving my youngest daughter to school, and that morning, usually like random songs play on radio.
Yep.
That morning, the whole time we're driving, the rap music the whole time. I'm like, this is your uncle Arman. He decided to entertain us with rap, and she loves. And apparently, I didn't realize that. She was telling me, "I'm actually after my uncle Arman, because I love rap music." She actually, that's why I started listening to a little bit to Eminem, to
Yeah.
Tupac, and other people, because my youngest also apparently appreciates that kind of music. I mean, she has all kinds of taste for music, but that was
Yeah.
amazing, and I'm like, that cannot be. I've never heard them this so much playing rap one after another, one after another, and I know it was him doing that to us. Or
Yep. I believe that. My mother is disaster movies as well. So when those ice storms and all those other
yeah,
ones, that's how I know it's my mom. Let's see what we got going on in the chat room here. Red Cardinals. Heidi says Red Cardinals. His son. He knows when you need those signs.
yes,
It seems
true.
like, and again, that's from Z
Mhm,
Son.
mhm.
A great Heidi says grateful for sharing such
Wow,
vulnerability. Thank you.
thank you.
I don't believe in coincidences and grateful for the synchronicity she does receive. Linda Nielsen says, truly believe sharing even the hard things, the painful things bring healing and ripple out. And I believe that it's like
Mhm.
you are paying it forward.
Yeah,
You really are. I feel it resonates as him to you, and it is from him. Yes, that's from
yes,
son
true.
as
Thank you
well.
so much.
It's
Thank
it's I truly believe this. I mean, I literally the signs again, everything you're talking about is like notes I already put here. So it's like, oh my God. So I did, like I said, I did manage, and it's just, I don't know. Guys, you got to get this book.
you. Yeah, thank you.
I just it's very difficult to find somebody who is pure. And what you put in this book was pure truth. It was your journey. A lot of people don't do that anymore. It's all like, me, 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 me. No, you were sharing what you went through, but you took us on that emotional journey with you, with healing.
Yes.
And this, like I said, this is really, really going to help so many
Yeah,
people.
yeah. And also there's hope, because like, as I believe now, like of course, like since I believe when this happened to me, it just made me wake up, which like that a huge awakening
Exactly.
happened in me. And that's actually and I mentioned that also in my poetry, that in my poems, that hopefully that breaks that vicious cycle, of being trapped in something that you have to live that way only, and hope
Yes.
gives freedom not only to myself but to my children and to generations to come. And that's, I'm sure it makes him happy to see how empowering it is, hopefully, for my children, for my daughter, because I have two daughters, women of the future, right? Women of
Exactly.
tomorrow, women of today, even like because my oldest just turned 18. And yeah, so I'm just so grateful for this. Oh no, it's hard to say I'm grateful, but I am grateful too for what happened, I guess, because it
Y-
made me grow up and grow. I mean, in a different way, and it helps my children see that example model, and hopefully other people. As I say, like it's very huge stigma, and it's hard for me to still even admit that I have this book. Like my family, actually, I will be honest, like I'm bluntly honest. I had to block my whole family from the Facebook and social media. I don't want them to see what because they will be attacking me. Because you know what
See,
I mean?
I think what you're doing is brave.
Thank
I
you.
think that by sharing everything that you have been through and everything he's been through, and that's the thing. Not only are you bringing your words alive,
Yes,
you're bringing him alive. And now through eternity, through the ages, everything that he does, who he was deep down on the inside, is right there in those pages.
yes, yeah. Thank you.
So
Yeah,
it's amazing.
yeah.
Let's see. Well, Linda said, oh my goodness, there's all kinds of conversation going on here. Somebody said, agreed, Linda. I don't know what to, truly believe that sharing even the hard things, the painful actually brings healing ripples out. Yes. Resonates with him. Linda says, agreed. Zisun, love that too. Indeed, Heidi. They're all talking with each other about your book
Oh, I
and
see. Thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
thank
the
you.
gratitude and the
So
healing, and it's amazing.
yeah, thank you so much. So I also like mentioned about like different ways of healing. Like I created this huge wall of not huge, but I mean the whole wall of his photographs with memories with my children or just
Yep,
himself, just to because just gives me so much peace just to see him, like his presence. I know he's present in my home,
yep,
and then like me discovering some new hobbies like drawing, like or going more hiking, going to the mountain. Like it's just those or meditation. Like I love guided meditations, or just going to some breath work sessions, yoga and all that stuff. So it's just some different ways of when you just take care of you and show your love and compassion to yourself. Yeah, and just and be you. And you probably I don't know, you probably saw that I mentioned many times in my book that just if you need to, you cry. Don't, because unfortunately in especially in the western part of like culture
yeah,
countries, people forgot how to mourn for with each other together, and how to
yes.
mourn themselves. They believe in 2 or 3 months or 2 or 3 weeks you should be done, you should be over this, but which is not, honestly, is not helpful to anybody. We need
No,
to live.
I don't believe it is
Yeah,
either. It takes as long as it takes. There
exactly.
is no time limit on grief.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, like I had some people who would almost tell me like openly that I have to be over this kind of thing, live my life and live for my children and stuff like that. Like this, that doesn't work that way. It doesn't help to say that those words, no.
No, you can't. You really can't tell somebody to get, oh, Heidi has set you a heart.
Yeah, thank you. I
You're
didn't,
getting all kinds of hearts and loves and little heart emoji like that.
yeah.
So, yes, agree, Susan. His story is right there in the book. Can feel the presence from just a few pages. You shared and explained, and also, hold on,
Oh yeah.
also sense him around you, where you are now. This is good. I have to release energy. He says, I used to think that crying was low vibration,
No.
but it's not. It's very healing. It
Yes,
is.
it is healing. Yes. Especially
Ouch.
when I would say, when I mentioned about that going through heavy emotions like guilt and other things,
Right.
you cannot heal if you do not face them. You have to face them. You have to live through them and take that process in. And then I even say, I had a friend who would go through some difficult like times as well, like we all do, right? Like depression
Right.
and that stuff. And even it's not my words, but I heard from somewhere, like you give yourself, if you need to, like even time limit, if you have to, like if you can say like, okay, for 3 days in a row I'm gonna be just huge mess and then I'm gonna be over this, for example. I'm just saying, but you have to admit that you have this feeling of guilt or
Exactly.
anger or sadness, and then you process it the way you need to process. If you need to cry, you cry. If you take a nice hot bath, you do, and just go for a walk. But it's best to process, and I'm hoping that the words in this book will help to process some of those heavy emotions. At the end of the book, I do talk about different other griefs, like I have a friend who lost her grandchild, unfortunately, to a car accident. He just flew out of the window, for his windshield, and then so I wrote a poem about that. And then there is a friend she's a fellow writer. Her son is going through cancer right now, so I did write a poem just to encourage her, and also for those who are going through this season of somebody being ill in their family and they don't know if they're going to make it or not. That's another way of grieving, right? So there's a poem about that. And also there's a friend who lost her pet recently, and I was thinking I'm going to write for her something encouraging, but then I ended up processing a lot of trauma about pets in my life.
Yes.
She got my book and she is processing that grief herself through this book. But I had to write like several chapters about my own way of grieving and mourning about my pet.
Exactly.
I lost my life, which I never apparently processed. I even have these chapters called like that grief that I never processed, like it's just those goodbyes I never said, like I had to say it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then at the end, like you'll see some of the other poems about like how I was going through how I'm going through my own self-reflection, self-growth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's you took the healing process and definitely took it a step further. Oh my God, we got 3 minutes left of the
Well,
show. I feel like I just started. So it's
thank
like
you.
what did Z Sun said? The story is right. Okay. Heidi says she agrees. She has to release energy. Crying is cleansing. Heidi just read Z Sun's, and now Z Sun sent you some hearts.
Yeah.
So, guys, what I want you to do is definitely, I've shared out the link to her book on Amazon, and it is definitely an amazing book. It's 5 a.m. The Silence After Dark. You can also, you have an author's website. Would you like to speak out your website so everybody can get in touch with you there?
Yes, please. Yeah, my website is my full name, Dana Kurmasheva. You probably have it there, danakurmasheva.com. You will find there also some of my writing from this book and some of my writing for my new book coming up. I just put little short stories there. I'm not sure yet how the book gonna look like, but I'm writing little different stories there. And also there's some video links to Arman's singing and his writing as well. There's whole page tab again dedicated to Arman and his writing. His
And
poem.
guys, here's the thing. If you are in trouble, please seek somebody out, seek a friend, seek a show,
Please.
message me. Literally, I don't care. Literally, message me, message a friend. It doesn't matter. That's what this show is built for, us to actually help other people. And I can't believe it's on awesome guests right here.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
definitely checking out your book, Dana. She loves the idea of it.
Yeah,
She says, Linda also says, thank you so much for being on and writing your book and sharing.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I also like in my post on my social media, I said, I hope this feels like a hand you're holding. You're holding my hand when if you're going through this heavy season of losing somebody or grieving or mourning someone you love. So I appreciate so much your time. Thank you for all the beautiful listeners, and I appreciate for the feedback and everything. Thank you so much. I really feel honored and so grateful
Oh,
for.
no, I'm honored for reading
Thank
it.
you.
You
Thank you.
literally shared your personal journey, and I can't wait for the next book. The way that you write it, it just keeps everybody alive. That's a gift in itself. So, and it's just, I'm sorry, it's amazing. But Michelle's looking forward to getting the book too. So,
Yeah, thank you so much.
gratitude and much love for both beautiful souls. And again, that's from her. And I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And again, thank you, Dana. I
Thank
really
you.
did enjoy reading this. It was an amazing story, and the journey is. I hopefully the journey isn't over yet, because I want, when you get the next book ready, give me a call, give me
Sure.
contact, give me, and we'll get you on for the next one
Yeah.
too. So
Thank
I
you.
love the way that
Thank
you
so much.
write. Don't ever stop. Share this story, share this soul. Guys, literally listen to his music, keep his dream alive. So when you
Please.
get this book, download it. I don't care if you don't understand it. Try Google Translate, whatever. Okay.
It's
Just
in English.
listen to it.
Thank you. It is in English. It didn't come in Russian yet, but it's. Oh, you mean the songs? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The lyrics are here. So.
Yeah. So you can follow along. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Keep his dream alive. And that way, that's part of the thing that she wants to do. So I got to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I will see you Tuesday for readings. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, hon. Thank you for coming on.